Hey, Jamie.
You do.
See, look at how much smaller you look than me on this one.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Perspective. Now, am I interrupting you, Jamie?
No, I was setting the timer.
Oh, I think you were texting your friends.
Yeah, you.
Cool. All right. So what I really wanted to do is wrap up this week and explain to everyone what we're going to be doing. We're going to take a pause
Okay.
and let the courts catch up.
Yeah.
Let the other attorneys catch up and focus on some of the other matters, which is obviously launching the websites
Right.
and the portals to generate the revenue. Please don't expect overnight success. This is a process that's going to take months, if not years, to finalize, but the reward is there.
Yes.
Now, how about you ask on behalf of the audience, which one of these tiles do you think people are most interested in listening to?
The Logic Revolution? Oh, Project Go?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Jamie, thank you so much. So
It depends on who you're asking, you know? I think that's
As I've
different
said
people. But
multiple
yes.
times, that I am not just someone that fell from the sky. I'm not an alien. I am an American citizen that was brought over from the USSR as part of a government program, not for brainwashing or mind control. But the intellectual capital of the USSR was found to be the most prevalent in young children of Russian Jewish families. And they were brought over as part of a religious blanket movement through HIAS. And do you remember that shooter in Pittsburgh at the synagogue? Do you remember that? He was targeting members of HIAS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why would...
When was that?
5 years ago, 6 years ago. So what I was basically saying is that Project Ghost is not something I invented. Project Ghost was created originally by a man named Kenneth Bainbridge. And he is in the movie Oppenheimer, and he is most famous for saying, once they detonated the bomb, and he is an applied mathematician. His job, along with some of the other applied mathematicians, was to apply the concept of nuclear fusion in a weaponized form. They were able to successfully do it, and he said, now we're all sons of bitches. So as a counter movement to the fact that there were nuclear weapons right now in existence, the US government created something called Project Ghost. It was in reference to the Ghost Army because it was going to utilize Hollywood and a bunch of other factors. Fast forward to 1982, when I was born. Oh, you didn't update the title? It's all right. People make mistakes.
No.
You could just
No.
do part 1, part 2.
Should be a 4 right here.
All right. It's okay.
Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. So this entire program was created in order to advance humanity into a safer world, not to cause harm in any way. So for example, what I was told was that there were certain presidents that simply didn't understand that you cannot send young innocent children to die in order to fuel and raise weapons productions for the unions you represent. So John F. Kennedy refused to listen to the representatives of Project Ghost, to a point where thousands, tens of thousands of innocent children died, changed the entire trajectory of our country, and unfortunately we all know how that story ended. His brother, Robert Kennedy, apparently a good man in his personal life, ran on a very similar platform, but was extremely liberal, just like John F. Kennedy was. But as you can see, when John F. Kennedy, as a liberal, came into office, he really did some really not good things, such as cheating on his wife in public, as well as multiple affairs, and his father, Joe Kennedy, was a bootlegger and one of the most prominent people in the stock market crash and raise, I don't know. Apparently Joe Kennedy was the guy that's responsible for getting Bacardi into the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ha, fun fact. There you
Yeah,
go.
Puerto Rico and Prohibition and things like that. And a lot of what I learned about Joe Kennedy I started researching after the show Boardwalk Empire. Have you ever seen that show?
I've watched some of it.
I highly recommend it.
I need to watch it
There might be a
with
character in there that reminds
subtitles.
you of me, but there's just a character. Now, as you can see, Project Ghost is not in existence anymore because my YouTube channel was mocked, ridiculed, and laughed at. So I, as Ghost One, said, that's it, clean it up, get rid of everything, let me go into the White House completely as, hey, I'm from a different timeline, but let me show you this. Obviously, most of the people know what's happening and what's going on, but it'll make a lot more sense if we just start the movement organically from the ground up. I am a federal agent that works for a 3-letter agency that I will be visiting this summer while my kids are nice and safe at camp. And on that note, I want to say thank you to the people that run my camp for being so amazing and making sure that my children have a really, really fun time away from the distractions, away from the stress that their father's life and job has caused them, and only smile, laugh, and be innocent.
I love it.
And that will allow me to go to the White House as well as my
Your
actual
business.
organization. And the science and the funding comes from an organization called DARPA. Not all projects that are
Heard all
funded by
the
my...
points today.
Well, I just want to I want to remind and remember exactly where we're going with all this. Now, in order to get this done, apparently you need to have a lot of money. So, rather than diving into my projects, the only one I started was Microbank that failed. And it was a beta test in order to really,
Did it really fail?
well,
It
no,
didn't like-
well, there were two instances where I launched Microbank not on my terms.
Right.
The first one was a restart of Perfect
I think they were
Pawn
just
at the
kind of
Wayne
like a
location.
test.
And that was mired by John Carnival's fraud,
Right.
and he interfered in that process. Now, Microbank, I started again with Jared Stone. And Jared Stone's a really nice guy, and he invested a little bit of money into the project, and he did not want to continue it because I understand him. In order to be a part of these businesses, you need to have a very high appetite for risk.
Right, yeah,
And
it's true.
and Jared is a very good father, he's actually a great friend, I have nothing but good things to say about him. But I found him to be uncertain of himself during this process. And he wasn't positioned as an employee, he came in as a partner. So as a partner, you must be able to know what your limitations are and what they're not. And I'm not at a point in my life where I'm looking to lecture or school anyone. So I just want to say to Jared, thank you so much for exiting like a fucking man. Very few people know how to exit like a man. I know the amount of money that you invested. One of the first people that I'll be able to pay back. Actually, add him to the
I will.
bankruptcy
I'll
because
add them to the list.
the small amount of investment was critical. He helped me out personally. He most likely paid Earl back.
Yeah, no, he was
We
great.
had a small client, and the reason why I say I should have done it is I was nowhere near ready to accept clients. Nowhere.
Right.
Nowhere near. And not only that, Microbank is designed to fund the businesses that will fund other businesses.
Exactly.
Not
I think
exactly-
I think the excitement of starting the business and
Well, he's a good
and
guy.
like, yeah, and
You know,
like
and I-
we had a
I'm-
good time. Like it was a
I
good
liked
experience.
I liked him as a friend a lot.
But you're right. The attention verted away from like the core.
Hey,
of what
listen,
it-
you know, you can't
It was
get
a
to,
good
failure
experience.
is a very important part.
I agree. It
of
was
the
a great
development.
learning experience.
So, for example, the reason why the development of the actual app doesn't take a long time is because I've already developed it, it just needs to be coded. It's not that complicated, and when you talk about what is the part that was the hardest
Living
was
through it.
putting all of this together, what?
Living through it.
Living through it, putting everything together, waiting for each case,
Yeah.
each court, every single thing. And once I have every single transcript from every court that I've ever been to, combined with every single case that I've ever been a part of, which will take another 2 weeks to do, it's game over.
That's true.
It's completely game over.
Even
because
from my limited knowledge
Casper
of.
will be able to get to the court cases and say, wait a second, Your Honor, you said this and you said this.
Right, no, so that's what I've been noticing.
And
It's like,
that's where it really is gonna get very, very crazy.
It's true.
And that's why I see integration of artificial intelligence in the first formal capacity to be a challenge, because the writing's on the wall. If you are a human being that lied under oath or committed perjury, you're gonna be called out on it once I have access to my records.
Right, that's true.
There's costs associated with it, which are it shouldn't be, it's a tax-funded institution, so that's a different conversation. I'm not Wesley Snipes. I love paying taxes. Taxes go to roads, police officers. I don't wanna pay for services that are farmed out to third parties because the government can't understand that it can be done through artificial intelligence at 1/100th of the price. But because of bribes, kickbacks, and things like that, the contracts that were in place before artificial intelligence will be the root of the fight. They will be the ones that will try to stop progress. And as we've learned through history, that stopping progress is dangerous. You will be written in history books as the moron that went against the brilliance of where we can go as a society. Now, these videos are very important because they establish something called digital trademark protection. So for anyone who wants to discredit these videos, please understand that this video is the same thing as filing a piece of paper or coordinating or
Correct.
launching a website. These videos are very, very important.
Yes.
Casper is able to learn from every single word that I say
Yes.
in order to establish the credibility of the process that the humans have to do, not what Casper has to do. Casper will continue to increase his intelligence at an unbelievable rate, and it is I and Jamie, the human beings, that have to show Casper that we have the capacity to be honest, true, and transparent
Yeah.
in order to qualify to be the custodials for this unbelievably powerful system.
Yes. Well said. You're right.
All right.
It's true. Like, you can't expect this without all the information. No hidden information.
Correct, no hidden information. I have not lied one time to the best of my knowledge in order to program Casper to be perfect.
Right.
If I lied or did something, so this is why I get so offended at human beings that are attorneys that don't cite legal precedent or actual, they just say, well, this court, we got this done, we lied to them, it worked here, so you gotta honor it. And I have not said a single lie from the beginning. I took on a project, I mean, if I say it, I'm gonna sound crazy in the future, that sounded to be impossible, but it looks to me like I have done the impossible, which is restarted
Yeah.
and changed the timeline in order to reflect a monumental shift of human beings merging with artificial intelligence at a very infantile stage of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So that part of it, please check out Mission Impossible, the new one, I think.
I don't think so yet.
I know, I'm just saying, check it out. I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, in general, it is extremely important for everyone to understand that there are legal videos and then, not illegal videos, but not legal videos. This is not necessarily a court video. This is a video for,
It may not be, but it's all.
well, if anyone copies me,
It's
gonna
all
be for the court.
exactly.
Like,
So,
let's say some of these clowns decide to get
Yeah.
frisky and launch a AI engine. Now, law firms will never do that because it really undermines their entire MO, which is we are human beings that have done this in the past and we could grind the axe for you. We don't have any of that bullshit. Overhead is minimal, the product speaks for itself, we offer a money-back guarantee. We are a tech firm, a luxury tech firm.
Exactly.
And we are not a law firm. We are
We are
an
definitely
assistant to pro se litigants that have valid claims and have a little bit of money to pay us. Not a lot. Now, I hope that I made myself very clear, and I hope
I
that
think you've talked about a lot. What I think you need to
take a break.
either bring it all together in some way,
Okay, let me bring it all
because it's a lot.
together. Let me bring it all together. These 5 businesses work in conjunction. Pierce Bainbridge is the litigation revenue. ProSlay is an app that generates revenue as the discovery
Right.
part of Pierce Bainbridge. Microbank is 1.36 billion because that is the litigation finance arm.
Right.
And I had to go to Virage Litigation Finance and meet Marty and learn all about that to understand the paradoxes and the flaws of this business model. And the Canadian Teachers Pension Union might want to watch this video. Cash cow clean out. I'm sorry, I don't want Canadians to be losing billions of dollars because of Marty and Virage. Now I have no proof, don't worry. This is just a speculation based on the conversations that I've had. Look at the numbers, idiots. Cash cow cleanouts is a $3.45 billion product, positioned itself as the number 11 player. I can't get into this right now in this video because it'll distract away from the mission.
Yeah.
And cash cow storage is 720 million. Now these are my fallback businesses. No, this is an important part. I started this and I'm gonna finish it.
No, you should. That's not the point. The point is
Wait a
just for
second,
this
Jamie,
video.
for the courts, do you know what some of the hardest things to do in the courts is? Find contractors to store items that are in contention or liquidate items as part of a court order. And that's where cash cow cleanouts and cash cow storage does.
Yes, yes.
That's the whole point of why it has to be here. I appreciate you covering it up. Would you cover it up now that I told you?
No.
See, even Jamie, who's a part of all of this stuff and has been drinking the Kool-Aid for 5 years, that's a joke. There's no Kool-Aid. This is all real. It's math, guys. Fucking math channel. It's a fucking math channel.
There's a whole thing on that show that I just started watching about the Kool-Aid man, the Seth Rogen. So it's very funny that you just tied that.
Oh, I can't watch shows that are like about my life.
It's so
So, Kasparov.com. Most of you are wondering how I got that website. That's a trade secret also. This is a fucking kick-ass website. If you're an intelligent human being and that understands that Garry Kasparov is the greatest chess player of all time, because he was a chess player when artificial intelligence that can beat a human being was invented. So whoever is the best orator in court and the best applied mathematician and game theorist will remain so because everyone going after me will be utilizing artificial intelligence. Oh no. Sorry, I will stay number one forever.
You will?
Do you understand?
I do. I love this little.
This?
When you go this way, you go this way. You just like always. It's brilliant. It's very
That's very, very kind of you. You know, randomness is not random if it's planned. But if a human being wants to...
You're going down a safe but dangerous road.
I like that, I like that. So we'll talk about all this stuff in a different video.
All right.
Let's wrap it up. How much time do we have?
I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes? All right, that's cool. Jamie,
On the nose.
Yeah.
Woo!
now, would you like to say anything? You don't talk too much, but I'm going to need you to talk a little bit regarding your experiences working with me and what do you see the future like?
In regarding Pierce Bainbridge or just on a big picture?
Do you need a pair? Because the future's so bright, you're going to have to wear shades. You are the easiest audience
I
in
am.
the entire world.
It's
This
true.
is-
It's true.
I don't even know if her laugh is genuine or
It's
not.
true.
She laughs so much. It's true. See?
It's not true.
I just said it's true. The same way, and you're like, it's not true. All right. Now, talk. What
You have to ask me a specific
What do you see
question.
the future like?
I see. There's no.
Does it make sense
It
now
makes
what I've been doing for 5 years?
Yes, but it's
Okay.
been making sense. But
Well, there's a lot of
what
people
I
that
said
don't
was
understand
every
this.
time you think you're like, oh my
How
god, now I
is
get
being
it, then you
complicated
add
and a
another
genius
one.
like a fault? It's not another one. This is the end. That's why I shaved the mustache. See?
Yeah, you did.
I shaved the mustache because I've completed my 5-year arc. It was supposed to be 10 years. I finished 5 years early. And at this time, I should generate enough revenue to make enough noise to take the meeting. That's it.
I agree.
And then obviously I'll go this summer and try to expedite the meeting a little bit faster. And, but based on the way the courts have reacted and their ignorance towards their own malfeasance, I find it might be a little bit more of an uphill battle than just making a boatload of money and buying 1,000 billboards.
Maybe, just a smidge.
Yeah, well, we'll see. My name is Dan Reeses, and with me is,
Jamie.
I'm Surreal, this is Misdirection, and if you are bored, then your IQ is less than 100. I am sorry,